Hi everyone, I'm John,
I'm Rex.
and this is Weird Cities, where we apply amateur urban studies to fictional cities. What do we have today, Rex?
Today we're going to look at Clark Ashton Smith, City of the Singing Flame.
And the stories that this appears in are The City of the Singing Flame, predictably, and its sequel, Beyond the Singing Flame. Now, some of the different drafts might combine these two stories into one, but we're going to be combining these into one episode for your convenience. Spoilers ahead, just as a warning. Alright, so this story takes place using one of Clark Ashton Smith's few recurring characters, Philip Hastane, who's supposed to be like kind of an author avatar kind of guy, right?
Yeah, it's sort of a stand-in for Smith.
But he appears in some of his other, quote, modern-day stories, but there's little to no continuity between them.
Yeah.
The Singing Flame stories being one of the sole exceptions to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that City of the Singing Flames, at least the version that I'm reading, opens up with a framing story. Philip Hastane has recovered some documents from his old buddy, Giles Angarth, in which he details some interesting travels he's had. So,
yeah, the diary of Angarth.
What exactly is up with this diary and where Angarth lives?
Well, Angarth is sort of a pretty established writer, and he's gone off on vacation or some kind of retreat to a place called Crater Ridge, which is somewhere around the Sierra Nevada area.
Yeah, those are mountains in Colorado and Nevada, predictably.
Yeah,
similar to where Clark Ashton Smith
it's sort of
lives,
in
right?
the whole western side of the country in general.
Yeah, Clark Ashton Smith lived around there, right near Auburn.
Yeah, in California. The particular he's talking about was near Lake Tahoe, and actually nowadays it's called Boreal Ridge. Some other features you mentioned were Donner Peak, where around the area where the Donner Party infamously kind of had their little stopover.
Yeah, quite a meal to die for.
And Castle Peak is another area, which is actually
old volcano,
kind of a dormant volcano. Smith describes through Angarth the area of Crater Ridge as barren, desolate, with outcroppings of rough nodular stone, a bunch of rubble. And Angarth, during his time there, kind of communes with nature, and he comes upon something strange.
Mm-hmm.
He finds these kind of column-like boulders of a green, soapy material.
And he goes through these boulders, and he's not in Kansas anymore, as you can imagine. Now, he kind of describes it as one gradual slope with violet and yellow and purple grass, with a road in front of him, and there's like these big monoliths at regular intervals, which lead through the meadows towards something off in the distance. He sees like strange forest with a similar color scheme, kind of like one really bad acid trip or something.
Yeah, and there's a sun, or there's no sun in the sky.
Yeah, but there's plenty of illumination.
Light, and there's also no wind or sign of any kind of animal life. And
there also is something really cool off in the distance. There's a city with massive towers and mountainous ramparts of red stone, as Smith describes it, with positively cyclopean proportions. Huge, big, towering over everything like a heavy metal album cover.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's severe and solemn lines of rectilineal architecture. And
yeah, it's almost like a naturally occurring geological feature in itself.
Yep. So let's rock. Now, one of the interesting things about this is that there's also like appearances of like a wall and other infrastructure as well. Like there's a road that leads into the city, isn't there?
Yeah. And the stones of the Great Road are actually enormous. They're like big blocks, like 20 square feet, I think he described.
At least.
Yeah, 20 feet.
and no breath of wind, which is some cute, cool detail that Smith added in there. And also, interestingly, there's a big giant gate, and it's essentially a kind of
the gate is kind of almost like formed out of one piece of metal.
Yeah, no luster to it, just kind of like dark gate, but there's still some kind of strange tone or hint of something, of some kind of music or vibration.
He feels in his body this kind of vibration, and as it gets closer to the gate, he hears a melody that's described as piercingly sweet and almost like a feminine voice, but with a pitch that no human voice could reach.
Now we get to the city itself. The city is essentially cyclopean, much like it.
Now we learned later on that the city is called Ydmos, and it's full of columns and obelisks and pylons.
Kind of a vibe of antiquity you feel about the place.
Yeah, and it's very busy and labyrinthine.
You get like colonnades and pillars with strange characters all over them. Like a million different cultures or races have been through here, each kind of leaving their traces.
Yeah, and they're all enormous compared to small human Angarth.
But interestingly, the city seems to converge on one particular location.
Yeah.
Something at the heart of the city, something that is unquestionably like the heart of the town. Now, we don't really see much about the economy or the social structure of the city, but we do know that at least this building is the center of town, some kind of big central purpose that's integral to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And Giles Angarth isn't the only guy who's been there.
No, it seems like people are coming from all sorts of distances to converge in this area. This temple.
And it's not just people now, is it? What are some of the cool critters that are coming in there? Some very smithy and weird ones.
Well, as I said, they're all very large compared to Angarth. There are some that their bodies are bright and shiny, as if they're wearing armor, and they have these
antennae.
Yeah, these strange appendages.
Like a metal exoskeleton.
Yeah. There's some that are translucent. There's some that are opalescent. Some are winged. And then there's mention of one that has these little wings that don't even work, so it has to crawl. They're all described as in these gorgeous terms. Some have wings that are gold and cerulean, like lepidopter, the butterflies, and scintillating jewel-like eyes. They're all huge. And then there are the natives.
Yeah, the natives, as you can imagine, have similar proportions to their city. They're big. They're kind of slow and lumbering, but you get the impression that they kind of move around. They know what they're doing.
They're also naked.
Yeah.
And they're described as swart, so they're dark. And Angarth it's either Angarth or Hastane later, is quick to say that they're not monstrous in appearance.
But they're just strange. They're just different. They have a different set of natural laws than ours.
Yeah, they've developed along a different evolutionary track.
Yeah. Which would probably be the very different stance than what Lovecraft would have said.
Yeah, and there's an interesting little feature or lack thereof that characteristic of them, which is the fact that they don't seem to have ears.
They've got big glowing black orbs for eyes, though, like a bug.
Yeah. So the fact that they lack ears and they don't talk seems to imply that they probably are affected by the music that kind of predominates the city.
But I am curious about what the relationship of these creatures is with the music. Did they build the city to try and lure people into it? Or
everything I've read about them in the story, they're described as impassive and statue-like. They're intent on their own affairs. They don't seem to have any investment in what's going on.
They don't really give a crap about the flame. For all we know, maybe they just build the infrastructure for their own reasons.
I mean, we can't even deduce they did build it. They're just
hanging out there.
Yeah. They seem to by being described as natives in any sense, I would take it as meaning they're probably you're more likely to see one of those than
and the other weird creatures coming towards the flame. I guess these are more common in areas outside of the singing flame or the center of the city center.
Yeah. And later on, our heroes encounter some essentially gigantic moths, which is,
From your Mothmen.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's Smith being almost literal with the moth to the flame analogy.
But what exactly is the singing flame? So everyone's going downtown, and there's this big jet of fire, right?
Yeah,
and what happens when they walk into it?
Well, one would first assume that they would just, So, in the center of the temple is a fountain of this continuously jetting green flame. We assume it's green because it's later referred to as a green curtain when our characters jump in. And that seems to be what everybody who comes into the temple wants to do. Just jump right into the flame. Just vanish. And in the beginning, the characters who witness this assume that these people are just being
suicidal or
kind of brought to this ecstatic, suicidal climax before they jump in and offer their lives to this flame.
But can't a few human characters resist the singing flame, or they not have much luck either?
Well, eventually they also succumb to the flame and the music, and we learn about the area beyond it, the inner sphere or the inner dimension.
Now, not everyone seems to like the singing flame, now do they?
No.
But now, Giles Angarth and his buddy Evanly jump into the singing flame because they can't resist the urge. But after the documents are found by good old Philip Hastings, he decides to investigate himself. So he goes in with, he's prepared. He's got, earplugs, sandwiches, a revolver, a big knife. He's locked and loaded. A good, well-prepared adventurer. But it doesn't help him much, does it?
No.
He walks right into someone else's war. So he finds Ydmos isn't the only city on the other side of that gate.
Yeah, when he goes through, he sees all the same things that has already been discussed. He also notices another city, which seems to be moving as if on jointed legs, very slowly. And there's also this black cloud that surrounds it.
Talk about urban sprawl with a vengeance.
Yeah, and it seems to shoot these red and black beams or tendrils, kind of like lasers of fire.
It's like an Imperial AT-AT from Battle of Hoth and Empire Strikes Back.
It's in that vein, yeah. But, like a whole city.
Yeah.
And it's on the warpath for Ydmos. And in its wake, all these, strange beams that's putting out leave behind a stretch of black, vaporing desert, as it's described. So it's just demolishing everything in its path. So
it's basically a giant death ray blitzkrieg machine. Clark Ashton Smith invented the blitzkrieg. In your face, Rommel.
Yeah.
But some of the symbolism of this, maybe it's like, Clark Ashton Smith's, one of his common themes, of course, is people discovering lost worlds or imaginary creatures or the fantastic or weird, and often being unprepared for it, or at least the thing being a sight of wonder sometimes.
Unlike Lovecraft, the strange oddities that Smithian characters find are usually beautiful and wonderful.
Sometimes terribly so.
Not really. He has an ironic sense of humor, so sometimes they'll be deadly, but he also loves to accent the weird as kind of an artistic paradise.
Well, that potentially is the symbolism here. Some kind of external force, perhaps society, perhaps the commercial economy. Draw your own conclusions here. Is crushing the center of artistic inspiration in this particular story. So
yeah, because it's worth noting that all the human characters who survive after they return from both Ydmos and the cosmic kaleidoscopic area beyond, they're just overwhelmed with kind of ennui and despair. And for Smith, it's like the mundane world is the real horror.
Well, the striding Doom City is advancing. Phil Hastings gets picked up by a flying creature, dumped into the flame, and what do we find past that, Rex?
Well, we find the thing that inspires, its lack of inspires the despair, which is the interdimension. And he goes hog wild with his description of this place. It's essentially his trippy conception.
Trippy artistic heaven, maybe with a bit, perhaps some Buddhist or various, like,
that's true.
cosmology.
And then because he describes
cosmology on top of each other.
He describes it very beautifully. There's luxurious meadows, forests, rolling hills, palatial buildings. Everything's pristine and gorgeous. There's all these brilliant hues of across the spectrum of the rainbow. Everything is imbued with light and semi-translucent, including all the living beings that have moved on through the flame. And he describes a number of sensations repeatedly. Unspeakable joy and exultation, a feeling of liberation, of rapture, blinding light being everywhere, a sense of being risen up or being buoyant. And he also describes a few times the sense of becoming part of a singular, greater entity than the individual person is, which is, I imagine, when you're speaking of when you say possibly Buddhist connotations.
Yes, and there's also hints of like worlds beyond that particular one.
That's right. This area, as beautiful as it is actually described as an antechamber to an even greater cosmos beyond.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem particularly interesting. Just a bunch of like floating gems.
Yeah, I mean, it's this very beautiful place where everybody feels really amazing. So, I mean, narratively speaking, it's a little boring, but he went all out as far as making it sound like the best place it could be.
Well, Phil Hastings finds his buddies there, like Evanly and Angar.
Nobody actually ended up dying when they went through the flames. They're all there.
Yeah, but don't they have to get out?
Well, yeah, because of the threat of the city, the other city with its devastation,
death rays, and
particles, such. Everybody is basically afraid that with the destruction of the flame in the city, so too will this interdimension's pocket be destroyed. So they're all ready to move on to this greater cosmos beyond. But the thing is,
you can't come back.
Supposedly, that's what they say. They also say you can't come back from the flame, but they do that. But you can't move on to this higher cosmos without some time to acclimate in the interdimension, which Hastings has not had. So, though he tries to follow with the rest, he is unable to go. And so he and his friends have to return back from whence they came. Yeah,
Evanly gets crushed into some rubble, and other than that, the two main human narrators survive.
And to live out the rest of their days in misery because they've seen the
glory and they can't go back to it. Clark Ashton Smith really liked his feelings of loss. That's one thing that's always common in different settings of his, like Zophique and Poseidonus and the others. Here it's done in like more of a contemporary for him setting, like set in the 30s, in a location inspired directly by his own hometown. So in a sense, this is kind of like the anti-Lovecraft. Instead of like basing a location where you encounter the weird and it's horrible based on your hometown, it's like finding a location based on your home and there's something mystical and wonderful and exciting about it. Smith could kind of do the Lovecraft stuff if he wanted to, and he was fairly good at doing horror when he needed to, but you get the sensation that he likes the weird as a source of beauty or aesthetic inspiration.
Yeah.
But the thing that I find curious is like, even though those creatures are described as natives, who might have built the city? Might it have just been built by perhaps the first batch of pilgrims? Maybe the city of the Singing Flame is built around some early fane around the flame itself. Maybe there's been several groups that have come through and built around the temple there.
Yeah, it's hard to say. And I mean, he speaks with a number of beings, his friends, and a number of other beings when they're in the dimension, which seems to vilify the other city, hating, artistic freedom and all the stuff that this place is supposed to represent. But, I mean, that's what they say. And it's worth arguing that to this other city with this ambulatory city that's just destroying everything, as kind of misplaced or overboard it's going with its destruction. As far as it knows, this is just some kind of weird death cult.
Yeah, transdimensional suicide cult.
Yeah.
Maybe the other city, for all we know, is battling something it considers as heinous as the Great Old Ones or similar madness-inducing horrors.
Right, yeah. I mean, we don't know how we can. I think it's mentioned that the denizens from this city and others like it have actually been drawn to Ydmos and the plains. So we don't know how many people it's lost to this thing.
But what I would find interesting, though, is that apparently the flame only affects you if you can hear it. That's why the natives...
That's true, yeah. The earless giants don't seem to...
And nor our narrators when their ears are plugged full of cotton.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it still draws them.
Yeah. But one thing that I remember in the beginning of the story is there's hints of things like petroglyphs and images carved on the rock near where the gate is. Maybe that implies other humans have gone through, or maybe some things from the other side have wandered out.
That is true. It seems that there's been, I didn't think of that, there's been some kind of system or network put in place where you can go through these columns to other worlds. I would assume that's how everybody else gets to.
Smith invented Stargate.
Yeah, it's basically what it is.
Only instead of finding ancient astronauts with pyramid spaceships, you find walking war cities and weird kind of flame suicide cults.
Yeah, and translucent mob people, and yeah.
I think I like the Smithian gates better.
Yeah, it is. It's really, we don't get any answers about any of this stuff, so
we're just speculating off the fly. Maybe the flame has some kind of is an entity itself that feeds on people, or has some kind of symbiosis from inspiring people. We don't know about this, but
yeah, I mean, Smith wasn't. You can tell just by the lush language he uses that what was most important to him about the story. He didn't all that stuff that we're kind of talking about. Didn't concern him.
Yeah, but California at the time, or at least around the Sierra Nevadas, it was a fairly rural area, whereas the suburbs of Silicon Valley and San Francisco have kind of built out since then. That area is still very popular with hikers and a lot of the outdoorsy types.
Yeah.
Smith had a cabin out there, didn't he?
In the Sierras? I don't know.
Or at least outside of town, because he was a fan of
lived in a cabin outside of Auburn, yeah. But Crater Ridge is an actual place. I don't know if he ever went there or if he heard about it.
Well, considering he was in the region, he might have traveled there.
I don't know how close Crater Ridge or any of that would have been to Auburn. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we had a fun discussion on the City of Singing Flame. What do we have next week?
We're going to dip back into some extras from Lovecraft, including the Nakotis, the Gittian city.
Yep.
Sarnath,
where Dune came to.
The temples, kind of strange ruins at the bottom of the ocean. How do you want to pronounce that one? Relay. And we're going to touch a little bit on some of the Dreamlands places.
Cool. So join us next time. We hope you enjoy your travels in weird cities and try not to jump into any strange flames.